had the police chief run a report. It's been several years ago, and the average ticket was for, I believe it was 52 miles per hour in a school zone, which means if you know anything about averaging, there was much higher, much faster speeds in those zones at that time. So, I'm all for it. Keep our kids safe. They only put them in school zones, so. And if you have a problem with that,
Thank you both for your comments. Any other council members who want to share anything tonight? I don't see anything. Okay, we'll move on to public comment. Public comments will not exceed 30 minutes, so we'll have 3 minutes per speaker. We're going to start with people who signed up in the room. The first person on the list is John Smith.
Hello. The first thing that I would like to address is the last time that we were here. Mr. Whitaker's girlfriend or fiance, I watched one of her public comments that she made prior, and she said that she is a free speech absolutist, but that you must use decorum when exercising your free speech. Decorum is defined as behavior in keeping with good taste. So I just wanted to ask everyone, she's not here, but if she believes that decorum is bumping into my girlfriend several times, blocking her camera, she actually grabbed it and pulled it down and broke the gimbal.
That's wrong.
Excuse me, this is not your time to talk. And she actually committed harassment, CRS 18-9-111, subsection C, strikes, shoves, kicks, or otherwise subjects to physical contact. So that's funny that, you know, she was the one that was assaulting my girlfriend, essentially. And, but she wants to use decorum.
I'm sorry,
I'd like-
this is
I'd like
a
to talk
product,
about
you
this,
can't video
administrative
this
order.
during the meeting, otherwise you're disrupting the meeting.
Is my time getting paused here?
I'm sorry, you'll get your time, my apologies, but you can't record any of our work product here
You're still
during the
on.
meeting,
Go
please.
ahead.
Otherwise, you're disrupting the meeting.
You have no right to privacy in public.
What's the
Yeah,
issue?
you just gotta.
There's something wrong.
This disrupts my ability to do my job.
I know
those
that you're not
cameras off.
talking, all you're doing is listening right now.
Yeah,
Not
you
that
should be
difficult.
listening.
Go ahead.
I'd like to address this administrative order that says that in accordance with the authority granted to the city manager by pursuant to section 7.3 of the Sheridan Home Rule Charter. So I don't know if you guys have read section 7.3, Mr. Whitaker says he did. But it does say that subsection C, establish with city council approval and implement personnel rules and regulations for city employees. That is the authority that Mr. Granberry is claiming that he has to write this order. Keyword here, regulations for city employees, not for the citizens. You're not a legislator, okay? And it says here that with city council approval, and there's actually no public record of you guys voting on this, so you guys have to approve this order. So you guys aren't doing your job correctly. And real quick, I wanted to talk also about Mr. Whitaker, you said that it's not unconstitutional. There's been several jurisdictions that have actually gotten rid of those because they are unconstitutional, because of granting your Sixth Amendment right to face your accuser. And they don't actually keep speeding down. I believe it was in Montana in 1995, they actually got rid of a bunch of speed limits, and they found there was actually zero increase in fatalities from speeding, because it's actually true that people will use common sense, and just because there's not a law doesn't mean people are going to drive 60 down Broadway, right? And the people that are going to violate that anyways, we're going to speed regardless of whether there's a speed limit or not. So that's actually totally not true, Mr. Whitaker. In fact, the way that a lot of engineers decide the speed limits is they take a measurement of everyone's speed. They take the top 10% that's going the fastest and take them out, and the bottom 10% that's going the slowest and take them out. And then they average everyone else's speed, because if everyone's traveling roughly the same speed, that's what makes the road safe. But people are going to drive the way they're going to drive regardless if there's a speed limit. So I was just wondering, Martinez, if I bump into a bunch of people here, all your friends, are you going to arrest me, or is that going to be cool, like you let his girlfriend do?
Your time is up, sir. Next up, we have F and reality.
Hello, everyone. I'm really upset that I missed the pizza last night. So I came today.
We can't hear you.
It's all right. Gotta show up, man.
I guess so.
Here I am. My friends and family don't carry guns to conduct government business. They don't act scared for their lives hiding behind people with guns either. My friends carry cameras and pocket constitutions, and they act brave. Unarmed, asking you to simply do your jobs, and that is met with violence. It's met with a gang of thugs and all their friends and family acting thuggish alongside of them, attempting to create a deadly encounter with unarmed, non-violent activists. None of us are violent. In fact, all the evidence for that claim is available to you with a free YouTube subscription. Hundreds of hours where you can watch all these people and how they never accomplish their goals with threats of violence. And they never carry out any acts of violence. So let's all admit that the fear being claimed to generate a violent encounter is being manufactured. It's not reality. Y'all better get your acts together immediately. Stand up for what's right, drop all the charges against the people you arrested, and destroy that administrative order that is unconstitutional and was put in place by someone who has no right to pass laws or rules for anyone that is not a Sheridan employee. Limiting who can speak is only making this process take longer. If any of you have the guts to do what's right, now's the time to do better. Elevate humanity. Show what you're made of, because so far no one's impressed by how you've handled this situation. Except your friends and family, of course.
And the residents of Sheridan.
I live here too,
Excuse me, don't interrupt the speaker, please.
please. If you have any issue with having your pictures taken, don't work in government. We're allowed to take your pictures, we're allowed to film our encounters, we're allowed to exist. That's our right. You guys can't infringe on it no matter how hard you try. We'll keep showing up. Here's a little math for you. There's 6,000 residents in Sheridan, only 2,000 registered to vote. I could easily get 200, 300 activists out here and we could canvass it in a weekend. It's not Denver, it's 2 city blocks. It would be too easy to show them what you guys are really up to around here. And I do live around here, Jay. Take it easy.
We have Chris Hunt.
My name is Christopher Michael Hunt. I'd like to start off with a quote, please. The functionaries of every government have propensities to command at will the liberty and property of their constituents. There is no safe deposit for these freedoms, but with the people themselves, nor can they be safe with their freedoms without information. Where the press is free, every man able to read it, all is safe. That was said over 200 years ago by Thomas Jefferson. From over 200 years ago, is it possible that this brilliant architect of our republic could have foreseen what would happen in a small town of 6,000 men and women that is far removed from Independence Hall in Pennsylvania? More likely, this inspired statesman was giving a warning to future generations to hold tight to the liberties bought through the shedding of blood, the snapping of bones, the wrenching of flesh and sinew, the suffering of patriots, and the tears of their loved ones. By any measure, freedom and liberty has been bought at a terrible cost. Anyone who carelessly swipes aside the God-given rights of free men and women because they make another uncomfortable, or annoyed, or insulted, or scared, or whatever but-hurt term you want to give it, cheapens the sacrifice of every patriot from the Revolutionary War to today. Every one of them. These unpatriotic people deserve neither deference nor attention, and they are either ignorant of liberty's high cost or, more likely, attempting to suppress them. Thus, when a public employee, like the spoiled man-child seated to my left and seated next to a uniformed thug, tries to infringe on the rights of free men and women, the press is necessary to view it, to document it, to investigate it, to disseminate it, and every citizen should loathe what they find out when they see it. In fact, investigating, documenting, and disseminating information on government actions, war inactions, finances, abuses, frauds, waste, and any and every other action of government is the very reason the First Amendment was written. How can the vital check on government's powerful functions be done if a gutless bureaucrat can arbitrarily and capriciously place limits on the First Amendment? Perhaps you don't care, or your indifference to the actions of these two employees seem to indicate that you do not. And let me also say, since I have 15 seconds left, nothing makes people more unsafe than gun-free zones. Look at the mass shootings that have happened around this country. Where have they occurred? Most of them in gun-free zones. Sic semper tyrannis.
That's the blind American.
It's a shame I wasn't able to get here in time the last time we did this to offer my comments, but I am here today. And it is irony that we are here at the medieval duchy of Sheridan. That's all it is a medieval duchy. We've got Cranberry as the Duke and we've got Martinez as the General. But no one else that's elected is upholding their oath to the Constitution. Where is liberty? Where is it written that Sally over here gets to be the chaplain? Yeah, I don't care for your genuflecting. You can observe a moment of silence if you want to, but there is separation of religion and state in this country. So I am sick of that. I am also sick of the free pass that is given to an unelected representative and a uniformed thug who brought in his family last time to conflate violence on peaceful citizens who peacefully exercising constitutionally protected rights. I will also add, where is morality written in the Constitution? Where is morality written in the First Amendment? There's no words about morality in the First Amendment. You can go teach morality, you can shut it down Twitter for all I care, because there is no morality written on that paper. The administrative order that we have here, that is, for all intents and purposes, it should be written on toilet paper, because it is nothing. It is an ordinance for the employees of the city, not for peaceful citizens who are coming here to exercise their constitutionally protected rights to film. I was here proudly on December 14th with 15 other free American men and women who were peacefully exercising their rights to film and do open record requests and to hold our public servants accountable, our elected public servants accountable in this little tiny little bit of a town here. I wouldn't even call it a city because of how small it is. But I will state this, that you should be ashamed of yourselves for not taking control of the situation. Yes. Because this has got to change fast, because otherwise it's gonna keep on spiraling down and spiraling down and spiraling down and spiraling down. And the Martinez crime family is going to continue to conflict this, get this escalated to inflict harm on peaceful Americans who are exercising their rights. Thank you.
Hello again, my name is Regan. Right to the point, facts on the record. Number one, and I quote, with added quote for a grammatical error. The actions of Denver Metro Audits and Benson could have dire consequences, and their actions must be curtailed before a deadly encounter is unnecessarily forced on officers. End quote. This was written by a City of Sheridan employee by the name of Jeffrey Martinez in a 3-page victim impact statement where Jeffrey attempts to display himself as a victim of a crime to the Arapahoe County DA's office, yet he fails miserably at defining what crime he's referring to. This is called false reporting, resulting in departing from the truth. Aside from the nonsense in supporting an employee that lies, you, City Council, are supporting an employee that is making physical threats to use force on law-abiding citizens who have simply offended him with their speech. That's right, ladies and gentlemen, whose sole purpose, you think, is to protect bad actors within your city government. You've made it more than clear your interest in service to a citizenry is dependent on being accepted into the Granberry Martinez club of thugs, where instigators and perpetrators of violence are lifted up in celebration and prayer, Sally. And accolades for a job well done. Shame on you and shame on all of you. I suppose Jeffrey and Devin have failed to inform you that there is in fact an ongoing criminal investigation into the city's police department concerning very troubling communications. Somebody's got their head down over there. Well, let me be the first to tell you, there is. In fact, there is. Mayor, perhaps you should demand your $185,000 a year city manager and his expensive town attorney, Bill Hayashi, into an executive session on the matter, because once again, the legal liability on the hook to taxpayers for this city's bad behavior is going to be a very important and embarrassing topic of conversation. Number 2 point I'd like to bring up as it relates to facts on the record. Were you aware that your municipal judge threatened to throw me in jail for 60 days, citing contempt for asking him a question after he and his court clerk asked me if I had any questions while I was silently observing his courtroom? Certainly the court record would reveal that, right? Yeah, I did that records request, and guess what? Bill Hayashi is working for the police department, and it's now part of the Criminal Justice Records Act, the only court record in the state of Colorado that just magically fell under a Colorado Criminal Justice Records Act to hide. What's the problem, Sheridan? What you hiding? Boom, you suck.
This is my first time in your city council meeting, and you guys brought me here. By the ridiculous nature of you guys not protecting the First Amendment of the Constitution of the United States. You, Sally, you read a prayer before this. How would you like to be arrested for reading that prayer at the city council meeting? How would you like your First Amendment rights violated, thrown in a cage, searched in your private areas while you're thrown in a cage by these two pieces of crap thugs over here who don't even understand that you don't even have privacy in a public area. If you want privacy, you have to make the privacy, Granberry, you stupid, stupid man. You don't understand the First Amendment of the Constitution? Martinez, you don't understand free press? Do you know that sets us aside from all the crappy nations in this world? North Korea, what happens to you if you go film in public in North Korea? You get thrown in a cage. What happens if you record in public in Venezuela or Russia? What happens in those countries without free press? Free press is a very, very, very important part of this Constitution. And you guys don't allow people to film in a public area? What the hell is wrong with you two? You are absolutely ridiculously stupid, and you need to find new jobs. Here's the thing. These videos, they're gonna last forever. And your family right now might be supporting you, giving you pats on the back, but your great-grandchildren, your great-great-grandchildren are gonna watch these videos and think, damn, Devin Granberry is a piece of crap, and I don't want to associate with him as a member of my family. Same with you, Martinez. Your great-great-grandchildren are gonna watch these videos, hundreds of years from now and realize what a piece of crap both of you are. And I just want to let everybody know, today is a national holiday. Every day is a national holiday. Happy Fuck the Cops Day.
Sal?
Thank you very much. Wow, we had an interesting meeting last time we were here, when we had basically came here to use our right and exercise our freedom of assembly that's safeguarded by the First Amendment. As soon as we came in here, we were instigated by Martinez's family. We were assaulted by Whitaker's girlfriend. We were not, excuse me. When we came in, we were courteous, we were professional, we were quiet. His family were the ones that instigated from the get-go. From the get-go. We have multiple angles of it happening. It is a shame how Desiree sitting right there ignoring everybody that has came up here. She's too busy doing her, I don't know what on her computer. And I appreciate you guys at least listening to us. I appreciate the veterans that have died for us to do what we're doing right now. And our freedom to express our feelings towards a chief that completely failed us last time. He sat there and escalated and not de-escalated any situation. His brother was side by side with the police when they were pushing us out, when they told us we were gonna be arrested for trespassing, but yet he is allowed to come back inside the building when we were all supposedly gonna be trespassed. That is unconstitutional. It is ridiculous. It's embarrassing how you're gonna let an officer dictate how to run your city. The city manager is gonna end up bankrupting the city. You just wait. It's just bound to happen. We came in here in peace. We came in here not wanting any type of violence, and from the get-go, this gentleman started everybody that came up, talking over them, talking over us, talking over everybody. And you guys just sat there and allowed it. Not you, but you definitely did. You definitely allowed it to happen. So it is very, I cannot imagine how you guys sleep in the morning, waking up, thinking that Sheridan is a sovereign city that anybody that drives from New York to California can't stop in Sheridan and be treated as a citizen because they don't live in Sheridan. That's ridiculous. It's America as a whole, the whole United States. It's not just Sheridan. Sheridan will be, mark my words, bankrupt if this continues to be a trend. It needs to stop, Madam Mayor, please. It needs to stop. And again, if you want privacy, create it. Don't expect it. You're a council member. I appreciate your effort, your time, but it's ridiculous what went on this time. Thank you very much.
So I'd just like to start off by saying that none of you are allowed to look at me. Put your head down, right? That's legal. I can tell you to do that, right? No, I can't. Why? Because I have no expectation of privacy in public. Period. End of sentence. And you know what's funny? I know my rights. And to date, the 10th Circuit Court, of which Colorado is a part, in fact, it resides right here in Denver, okay, has affirmed the rights of citizens to film our public officials in the performance of their duties. The 10th has stated the right for the record falls squarely, and I'm quoting now, falls squarely within the First Amendment's core purpose to protect free and robust discussion of public affairs, hold government accountable, and check abuse of power. Let's discuss abuse of power. Abuse of power in its simplest form is the misuse of a position or power, or a position of power to take advantage of individuals, organizations, or governments. The policy that Granberry put in place is a perfect example of an abuse of power. It states that you all have to vote on this policy before it can be put into place. Yet, there's nothing in any of the minutes from the time before that was put in place till now where not one vote has been taken place on this. So therefore, he has abused his power. He has the ability as city manager to enforce city council ordinances, resolutions, policies, and other directives. 2, work with all department heads to administer policies and directives. Now I'm paraphrasing these down. 3, establish with the city council approval and implement personal rules and regulations for city employees. 4, cause a proposed budget. 5, prepare and submit reports of all financials monthly and yearly. 6, supervise all city departments and employees. 7, employ and dismiss all city employees. 8, attend city council meetings in an advisory role only. 9, be responsible for informing the public on city functions and activities. And 10, to perform such other duties as prescribed by this charter or as required by the council and not inconsistent with this charter or any codes, ordinance, or laws. Well, let's see. The supreme law of the land would be the U.S. Constitution. The very first amendment to that Constitution has 5 protections: speech, religion, freedom of press, freedom to redress our government, and freedom to assemble. And everybody that says just because they think I don't live in this town that I don't have the right to be here, y'all take federal money. I have the right to address you.
Mr. Alex Aguilera.
Thank you all. Fellow members of the public and board members of the Sheridan City Council, Police Chief Martinez, Mayor Granberry, I have one question for you. What in God's name is going on here? What is going on? Really? You're better than this. I can see it. You're better than this, and we had this conversation, Chief. I'd like for you all to take a moment to step out of the nonsense and madness going on at this time and take a brief 30,000-foot view of the issue at hand. I know it's hard to do so when you're caught up in the ordeal. Close your eyes for a second if you have the ability to do so, and think about where you are right now and what exactly you're doing. If you are a city council member, a police chief, or a town mayor, and have the capacity and power to stop this nonsense, shame on you for not having the gall to do so, and for being the first to speak up. If you're a member of the public, but you're really here on behalf of a council member or police officer or other city staff, I urge you to value yourself as a professional and individual, as well as a human being enough to be able to use your intellect to solve such a simple issue. If you're a camera person, exercising your free rights and contesting things you don't believe in, ask yourself if there's room to improve yourself in the way you conduct yourself in your capacity. Regardless of how many tyrannical and out of control publicly funded employees you've encountered. I'm mad. Guys, you see, none of us are perfect. None of us. In the Bible, it says, let he who has no sins cast the first stone, right? We got to do better than this. We are adults. Shame on all of us. Everybody here who hasn't done anything to fix this problem, shame on you. May your legacy contain better than this, because this is not the hill you die on. And every single one of you, I think, knows that. These folks have the right to record in public. If you don't like it, create privacy, invest in technology like a freaking window film that disallows that to be recorded. Train your staff on how to interact with First Amendment auditors. You may not like it as much as I don't like red lights, but we got to abide. We got to have a constitution that allows us to follow rules, laws. And this is not it. Getting into a petty dick measuring contest over who's this isn't it. This isn't the hill to die on. We agreed on just about every topic that we spoke about when we sat down, Chief, and I think you're a reasonable man, and I think the majority of the people in this building are reasonable people. Yet I walked in here and I'm seeing a dick measuring contest that does not need to take place anymore. Do better, brother. Do better. Don't get pulled into things you don't want to get pulled into.
Madam Mayor, we're out of time. Oh, okay. Thank you, everybody, for your comments tonight, and we'll adjourn this regular meeting at 7:55 PM. And we're gonna go right into our shared redevelopment agency. Call order the shared redevelopment agency for February 27th, 2023.
Just give me one moment to get the software up.
Sure.
Kelsey might have to sign in again on the open meeting. Good to see you guys. Good to see you.
Okay, the meeting has been loaded. Go ahead and connect.
Still the biggest fuck up on the planet. Oh, I'm sorry, I forgot you too. You're the second biggest fuck up. And the dick measuring contest that's going on, it's you two.
You can leave now.
Why? Other people talk to you, I can't talk to you?
I don't want to talk to you.
You don't need to talk to
We're
me.
trying to conduct a meeting.
Oh, you
Trying to
are?
conduct a meeting.
Oh, only when other people are talking? Fuck up.
Says we're sorry.
Wake up, man, wake up.
Okay, we're moving on our meetings now, please, everybody. Thank you. Okay, we're, okay, we're moving on with our meeting now.
Here, let's take it. Looks like the battery's dying.
I'll grab that from you, and yeah, I gotta grab it at the sidewalk.
The sidewalk.
Killed that dude. Hey, I love that Do Better one at the end. That was fast.
We murdered that shit, huh?
Hey, and we had the just amount of time to dominate the whole thing.
They had 5 more minutes. Why'd she end the meeting early?
That's a good question.
They were done with us. We had 9 slots. We were on
that was
number
we got
8.
everyone in. You
No.
notice how everyone kept saying time at everyone's, except they didn't say it on Alex's. Yeah, Alex got to. You know why? Because the way he was diplomatic about it, and I liked that. Okay, thank you.
Either. They didn't know him.
All right, guys. I got my camera back. Let's see.
I have no idea what's going on in my chat.
Hold on a second.
I'm going to end this stream and send all of you over to Denver Metro Audits. I can't see my chat. Haven't been able to all night. I've been in contact with mods though, so thank you guys for moderating this chat. Much appreciated. Jump on over to Denver. Thanks, guys.